Very forward.
In the blue corner, weighing 221.
Welcome back, it's Eddie Cash here again at ringside. We have a heavyweight contest coming up now between Pierre Coetzer of South Africa and Chicago's Bobby Hitz. Here's Coetzer. He started out as something of a white heavyweight hope, and you see him in the navy trunks here. Hitz from Chicago in the red. He of the designer stubble immediately takes a couple of hard lefts to the chops, but he comes back with a left hook, does Hitz. I don't know if Bob Hitz is his name or it's a job description, I should think. Bob Hitz. Well, we'll see if he does hit. Coetzer was one of a long line of South African white heavyweights who promised more than they delivered. But he's trying to establish or re-establish himself in the world's top 10. WBO rate him at number 7 at the moment. We'll see how he gets on against Hitz, and we'll see how much ambition Hitz has got. Hitz a bit of a journeyman type, fairly undistinguished kind of a career, but he'll provide a test, we hope, for the big punching Coetzer. Much to choose from them at the moment. They look in the immobile mold of heavyweights, no dancing. But Coetzer shows a pretty good left hand, driving it straight, spearing his man.
Hey, step back if you want.
Hitz
Come on.
dismisses him, scolds him almost, and whips up a left uppercut. Not a particularly orthodox shot either.
Watch it. Step back. Don't throw punches. Come on. Step back. Don't throw punches.
Coetzer in the navy trunks, mustachioed.
Watch it there. Whoa, hold it there. Watch your head.
I hope this isn't going to develop into a messy fight.
One time warning.
Early signs are that it is. We'll see. Coetzer showing more aggression. Plodding forward, pouring out the left. That was a sloppy looking attack from Hitz. He's going to get caught if he continues like that. Short right hand from Coetzer, drives Hitz back to the ropes, and again. 3 short right hands, and Hitz is in trouble. Backed into a corner, and Coetzer's unloading. Starting to mix him up to the body.
Step back, that's it. Don't throw punches. That's all.
A reprieve for Hitz, but he won't get out of that corner, and he's backed up again, and this is trouble for Hitz. He's sinking. Couple of right hands, short chopping right hands over the top. Hitz isn't going to recover. Doesn't want to get up. You can see that.
10.
It's all over. The referee counts to 10. Actually, in boxing, you don't or shouldn't count to 10. It should be 9 and out. But clearly, Hitz had no appetite for combat at that stage. Very, very little in the way of resistance, one has to say, from Hitz. A couple of left hooks to the body, soften him up. There's one of them. That went into the ribs, and he starts to sink. Another right hand coming up over the top, clips him on the top of the head. And down he goes, crunch to the floor. And from that moment, Hitz had decided, in his mind at least, that the fight was over. And indeed it was, because he almost sorrowfully got to his feet with the look of a defeated man in his eyes. Here are these right hands. There's a stream of them, actually. And Hitz, well, I said he didn't show too much ambition, and I think that was manifested after his first knock. Had the cheek then to stick his tongue out at Coetzer, invited more punishment. And as sure as night follows day, he got at more of those right hands. And some wicked-looking left hands coming up to the ribs particularly. There's one. Wham! And he didn't like this, really. He just thought, well, where's the paycheck? I'll go back to Chicago a little bit richer after this, even if I had taken a few clubbing right hands and had my ribs mixed up.
The winner by knockout
here's
from South Africa, Pierre Coetzer.
Coetzer. A nice night's work, thank you very much. At least that keeps him in contention for a WBO world title shot. The champion, Damiani, from Italy, although few people outside the WBO organization seriously believe that Mike Tyson isn't the world heavyweight champion. However, Coetzer does his job, and you can't ask more of the guy than that. Not too much in the way of opposition, but he did the job with a business-like efficiency. So you can't fault his performance.
Almost going right across the ring in his efforts to get away from the South African champion. Coetzer measuring his man, looking for the opportunity to unload with some.
Well, he showed his power here, Coetzer. He didn't answer the big question over him, which is basically revolving around stamina. When the pressure's on Coetzer, he doesn't show a great degree of stamina. And in fact, he's shown a little bit of fragility in the chin department when he's come up against the bigger hitters. But I don't think he really took a decent shot for the duration of this round. And we're showing the fight virtually in its totality in slow-mo and showing every facet of it, really. And I suppose when we get a South African heavyweight like this crop up, people get a little bit excited about it, and all sorts of political controversies start stirring themselves. And they'll stir themselves even more if Coetzer continues to win and starts provoking some attention, and maybe even establish himself as a worthwhile contender for the heavyweight championship. But he'll have to test himself against harder opposition than Hitz. And he didn't have a great deal in the way of opposition today. Here we see that left hand. And of course, the left hand is a vital instrument at any level of boxing. And if you've got a good left jab, you can get a long way on it. It helps if you've got a good right hand, good defense and good mobility to add to it. But you can get a long way on a good left hand. And those kind of left hands are in short supply in the heavyweight division. Hitz trying to mix it up. Here, didn't last for very long. Well, this has been a kind of a filler in the sandwich of two WBO World Championship contests. Later we've got Kenny Mitchell coming up, another US champion from South Carolina. He's going to be defending his bantamweight title against another South African, Simon Skosana, number 8 rated. He's a bit of a veteran, a 32-year-old, in boxing terms at least. But that looks to be a decent match. And we're going to have a second chance, I suppose, to look at just how credible this WBO federation is. We've already seen Jose Ruiz, and even if nothing else transpires this evening, it belongs very much to Jose Ruiz. We'll be returning in a few moments on Screen Sport for the remainder of this boxing card. See you then.